Hello. Let me turn up the music a little bit. Let me let people know that I'm live. Alrighty, let me let... Okay. All right. Alrighty. Okay. I think I let everybody know that my stream is live. So I've got, we'll talk in a second, hold on. All right, hello chat. How are you all doing? So I've got this situation in which, for whatever freaking reason, Discord shows that I have a DM. But when I click on the DMs, I don't see any of my DMs highlighted as having a new message. So I don't know what is highlighting this. Oh, really? Might be a pending friend request. Control R. Nope, it's still there. Okay. Alright, so it's been forever since we've talked, chat. Got so many thoughts going around. This time I'm going to show some of the stuff I've been working on because I've been tinkering around with AI since last stream. And I was thinking, like, I have all these ideas, I have all these things I want to do, but I wanted to work through my problem solving on stream. So I thought I would just have that be part of tonight's stream. Uh, uh, uh. I don't know how many people we're going to get tonight because it just so happens that this is overlapping with President Biden's State of the Union address. And most of a decent amount of my viewers are from the United States. So some people may be watching the State of the Union to see if some important stuff is announced. I figure I'll catch the highlights later because it's not like oh, okay, let me rephrase it. I'm not expecting there to be anything in the State of the Union address that I need to react to immediately. I expect if there's something important that I need to react to, I'll find out about it at some point. You're just getting the highlights or what have you. Let me see. Okay. So it's been interesting. I've had a lot, so I wanted to share with you some of the stuff that I was working on. Oh no, the 99-cent teas went up to $1.25. Oh no. All right. Oh my gosh, that's funny. Yeah, so I generated a few more things in the AI, and it got me a lot of thoughts, and I want to do some research tonight. Tonight, I think a lot of, like, not much of tonight is going to be writing. Most of tonight's going to be researching and bouncing ideas around, just because I have a lot of questions about what I should do with this story, and even if it should be connected to Halcyon Avenging. I was dealing with it as a side story. I actually made some changes to my rough draft of my second draft of Halcyon Avenging in order to plant the seeds. Get it? Plant the seeds. Hee 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 hee. To plant the seeds of its introduction, of making references to the inclement weather patterns. But, like, I'm running into this question, right? What message do I want to tell with my story? Because, like, stories are kind of like their art. And, like, with my main story of my lore novel, that was about finding the strength to succeed in situations you didn't ask for, or that became more than what you asked for. And finding the strength to continue and succeed and to push forward through that. And that's cool. But then I'm asking myself, with Halcyon Avenging, what's the story? Originally, I was going for the whole, like, the world gets destroyed at the end to try to create this illusion that, like, it was what happened in the ancient past in order to go with the random prompt I got. But as I've been developing Halcyon Avenging, I've had this question of, like, is there an overarching message? Because it feels almost like a waste to feature this entire plant-based society and not say something about our current world and society. It just feels like it's right there to say something, but I don't know that I'm qualified or the person to do it, which is just, like, I just want to tell a story. I guess that readers will take whatever message they want from it. Okay. Alright, so, sorry, I was looking around to see if I had any messages from Silva. And I saw a message from Silva, but they didn't say if they were going to drop by. Tonight might be a really quiet stream of me just, like, bouncing ideas off myself. I'll give it a little more time, see if any more people show up. My last few streams have been really successful with having lots of people come through. And it's been really uplifting. And it's like, I'm not streaming for the numbers, but it feels kind of like a validation whenever I'm streaming and then people are there and I have people to talk to and to bounce off of, and it's like I'm hanging out in a group with a bunch of my best friends and we're shooting the breeze, we're having fun, but I'm able to stay in control of the situation in a way that's like comforting for me in dealing with my own traumas and experiences. And that's one of the things I really like about streaming. It's one of the reasons why I really want to get more people in the community and have more people come to the streams. Because I want to have just more people to bounce ideas off of, to take input from, to hang out with. And with that said, I think it's really cool to just have more people come through. I do very much miss the olden days when I would have people coming through for my League of Legends streams. I would get like upwards of like 6 to 10 people on stream at a time. Oh, we would have enough for doing some of those viewer games in League. Sorry. Not getting as much sleep as I probably should. Maybe I do a stream of watching the State of the Union address. All right. So I have a lot of thoughts, because if I'm gonna be having a story that deals with like environmental disasters, right? I need to know more about environmental disasters, and I figured I could do that research here on stream. And I want to have just something to do with like what's causing these environmental disasters. And I have to make a decision for like what role I want the Doomsday Seed to play in that environmental disaster. That also comes to the question of what is the Doomsday Seed and how is it working? And when I asked the chat about it, when I asked ChatGPT about it, ChatGPT just said it could be whatever you want it to be, and I'm like, that's not helping. But it's also funny that like right now at the same time, there's another channel that's doing there's a channel on Twitch that's doing an actual play of the Subversion RPG that I really want to run. So like there's part of me that wanted to go watch that, but then I was like, I didn't find out about that, so I'd already scheduled this, and I want to do 3 streams a week. I want to squeeze in the 3rd stream of the week. Which is something that I'm really bound and determined to do, just because I want to get more content out there and I want to get better at talking and at producing content and doing things. I think I have a cool subject for tonight. Like last night's stream was just really fun. Like, and we may do that again on Friday. Just start feeding more scenarios to Chat GPT and generating one-shot adventures for different systems. I generated a Mutants and Masterminds one-shot. I'll show you that in a little bit whenever we actually get around to it. I generated a one-shot for that, which is not super complicated. These adventures are relatively simple, but it's pretty cool. I tried generating a stat block and it generated a stat block that is a combo together thing. That's a compilation of D&D 5e and Mutants and Masterminds stat blocks. It is a mess. Which also gets me wondering, how was ChatGPT trained? Was it trained on stolen copyrighted work too? Because then I'm just gonna feel terrible, because I thought I'd finally found an AI that I could goof around with and not feel guilty. You know, and it's like, oh nope, you feel guilty about everything. About everything. Like, I don't want to be one of those people that's like, well, herder, if it's on the internet, it's public domain, because that's not how copyright works. Yeah, I've seen some people talking about wanting to improve D&D's magic system and the levels of spells. Hey, CeeLo, how are you doing? It's good to see you. How is your day going? But yeah, I was reading some stuff someone posted on Twitter about wanting to change up how D&D does its spells, to try to recreate the spells so that way if you were first level, you're using first level spells, and then all the way up to, like, if you're 20th level, do using 20th level spells, and then redoing the entire spell list and rearranging and splitting up levels of spells across multiple levels. And there's this Twitter thing that I follow, where this guy plays D&D with his 6-year-old kid. That concept that you have to be level 5 to use 3rd level spells, and how the levels 1 to 9 spells. Well, this is more of the thing that, like, this guy is playing D&D with his kid, and the spell level thing is one of the most complicated things for him to teach his kid. I would argue that for teaching a kid to play a role-playing game, a pretend role-playing game, there are probably much simpler RPGs that would be much easier to grasp and not have such weird and complex rule interactions. That would be a lot easier and much more functional for kids. Or, like, you talked about how the kids' play group, the whole thing with the spell levels is just frustrating for them. And I think it kind of does fall into that thing of, like, he could be using a different system. He could be using an entirely different system and working entirely differently. But for whatever reason, he chose not to. He chose to teach his kid that one. And I mean, kids' brains are like sponges. They pick up things so quickly once they get going. As long as it's something they actually want to learn and actually want to do. Yes. Yes, that is really true. And that reminds me, I was reading this post where someone was talking about how like their favorite, the edition that they learned to play of D&D was 4th edition, and it was their favorite edition. And they didn't understand why so many people disliked it. So then they went back and they reread the rules now years later to try to figure out why people disliked 4th edition. And they realized that all of the things people disliked about 4th edition were things that their DM just completely ignored or homebrewed around. And it was a thing where these key parts of the system, if you just homebrew around it, it becomes a vastly better system. And that is an issue with D&D being the air quotes default TTRPG, is that for a lot of people, they will choose to homebrew it. But I think some of that's going to be changing here, like with the way D&D's handled the OGL and with their plans to like hyper monetize the brand. I expect it's going to be one of those things where they're trying to grip sand really tightly in their hands, where the more they grip, the more grains of sand fall between their fingers. And I think they're going to, as they keep trying to over monetize the brand, to increase the monetization of the brand, and when they release their VTT, that'll be their microtransaction hell. That people are just going to look for other things. Now that the core rules, the SRD is in Creative Commons, and there's no restrictions on what VTTs can do, I expect we're going to see some really interesting and creative stuff. Some people have talked about how Wizards may have ushered in some new age, some new renaissance of creativity. It's a weird middle spot where there are a lot of systems that are more malleable for narrative-based situations, and others like Pathfinder 2 that just have a rule for everything and a wiki with search function. Yes. And doesn't like Pathfinder 2 like embrace their wiki, whereas D&D is constantly trying to take down some parts of their wiki? All right. The Arv of Nethys. I debated picking up that Pathfinder Humble Bundle. I don't know what was in it. I wonder if it's still live. Let me look that up. I know someone in my Discord shared it. Archive of Nethys. Okay. What was in this Humble Bundle? I wonder if the core book was in there for the $5 tier. I've had really good things of the Paizo ready-made adventures. Okay. What does this come with? $25 for the entire thing. With the Game Master Guide. Lots of adventures. A flip mat. Bestiary and the core rulebook. So for $5, you can get the core rulebook, the bestiary, beginner box, character sheet pack, player character, Lost Omens guide. $15 gets you a lot of these flip mats and pre-made, ready-made adventures. I might do the $5 just for the core rulebook. Like, like normally I don't spend money on things 'cause I really can't. I'm really, because I live on a fixed budget. But $5 is not that much, and $5 to spend on a core rulebook is a pretty good deal. I'm presuming these are all PDFs. I don't know. I might, like, part of me wants to spend money just to support Paizo. But then the rest of me is knowing, hey, guess what? You are in the middle of getting art, you're in survival mode, and your disability still hasn't been processed yet. I'm eternally in this waiting limbo for my disability case to get processed. Anyway, let's get rolling. Yeah, that's probably what I would do. Like, so with the wiki being searchable, with there being a character developer online with Path Builder, like Path Builder for one $5. Yeah, like for a $5 purchase of Path Builder, you get like everything that's been released from Pathfinder 2nd Edition built into Path Builder for building your characters. So like that gets core rulebook plus all of the secondary guides and the character like expansion packs and all of that stuff built into Path Builder. It's not what I would need if I was running Pathfinder, but I have no intention of running Pathfinder. I would play Pathfinder before I'd run it. And see if maybe the bundle pops back up again later. Alright, so it's about 9 p.m. Let's get started. Icon, is that what you're talking about, CeeLo? That other game getting made by the Lancer devs. It's essentially Lancer, but leaning into the fantasy without the mechs. I've heard things about it. I've had some friends talk about it. But I haven't messed with it myself. But I've heard some really good stuff about it. That it's got a lot of character customization, a lot of really great stuff. Okay. Alright, so as I stated in the thing, tonight we're working on fleshing out the ideas from the AI generated stuff last night. We're taking, because so last night I meant to just be generating AI stuff for TTRPGs, but I ended up generating some stuff for stories, and it got me thinking. Because I'm a writer and that happens. But before I do that, let me show you. I want to show you some more stuff I've generated with using the Chat GPT. Generated. I generated. Hold on. Where is this? So I generated an entire ship crew for a Lancer. And because my main game for a long time was Mutants and Masterminds 3rd Edition, so I generated this. Well, I got it to generate for me this one shot for Mutants and Masterminds 3rd Edition, and it gave me a lot of stuff. I tried to ask it for a stat block, and it gave me this funny cobbled together stat block that is a mixture of Mutants and Masterminds and D&D 5th Edition. It is hilarious. Or some kind of D&D. It's a mixture of some kind of D&D and Mutants and Masterminds. And that is absolutely hilarious. It's enough stuff here that I can make it work. Like I could make this work. Like it's got like its offense has got damage numbers like D&D. Like that's a D&D entry. But it's got the defenses of Mutants and Masterminds. And it's got complications. It's really funny. How the AI tries to piece this together, but it gave me a lot of stuff that I could use, and I could run this adventure. I mean, with my experience in Mutants and Masterminds, I could run this adventure. It suggests running it for PL8. I'd probably have to give the players, so the basic thing for this adventure is that all the players wake up stranded on the island with no memory of how they got to this island, and they have to figure out the mysteries of the island and how to get off the island to get home. I think the only limitation I would probably put on my players if I was running this adventure would be that you can't have that you have some kind of a limitation on your flying powers that makes it so you can't just fly home, or that your flying powers have to be below a certain rank. So that way, when you fly, it's going to take you so long to fly home that it's just not viable. You'll get tired and hungry and need to sleep before you get home. So that's the only limitation I put. So then also today, I decided I would try putting asking for another Lancer one-shot, and it gave me another Lancer one-shot. Now this one was very similar to the last one in that it dealt with finding an old outpost, and I'm wondering if that's just what it thinks Lancer is a space game where you find old outposts. But it's got some cool stuff. I could probably tinker with this. The thing is also, this is talking about aliens, and that's not a thing in Lancer. So I would probably have those be just like some kind of like heavily body modded people or heavily like gene modded people that have essentially become their own culture and identity. Then I decided to do this because I heard that it could do this. Kind of, CeeLo, kind of. I decided to ask ChatGPT for a campaign instead of just asking for a one shot, to ask for a full campaign that takes place on the frontier at the edge of known space. It needs to involve dragons, and it gave me this like overarching plot, and then I asked it for like an NPC. And I asked it for the first session, and it laid out the first session of the campaign. And it gave me, I might use this as a story arc. or maybe one of my current campaigns. For my current campaign, I might adapt this to a story arc. Um, and it deals with this whole thing where it did exactly what I told it to do. It incorporated the dragons into uh the story. It was very powerful. Um, it gave me a lot of stuff to think about and a lot of stuff to work with. I don't know if you were here, CeeLo, because I remember you were the one who suggested, like, what was it? Chat, whatever, 3 underground, OpenAI 3 underground or something. No, Playground. That's what it was. Chat GPT Playground or something. And I tinkered with that a little bit. I tinkered with that last stream. GPT-3 on Playground, yes. Someone brought up that apparently this chat GPT got updated to whatchamacallit, chat GPT 3.5, so it's technically a more powerful version than the Playground, but the Playground has more tools if you're doing stuff with like code and whatnot. And I tinkered with it a little bit. The phrasing thing is kind of weird. And I think if I was making code, I would definitely, like, if I was making a bot or making code, I would definitely use Playground a lot more. I bookmarked it so I could go back to it. But for what I'm doing, I really enjoy this conversational nature of this setup here. I think it gives me a lot of options and a lot of tools. But I did try it, CeeLo. I did try it. Like I promised I would. I also learned that you can go back and change a question to change the direction that the question goes. And you can regenerate something if you don't like the answer. You can regenerate the last response if you don't like the answer. But now it's time. So this was all goofy fun and games for the last stream. But now is the part where we get serious. And I actually take this ridiculous and silly premise. Oh, all right, CeeLo. Have a good night. Hope you get some rest. Good night, CeeLo. Thank you for coming and thank you for your time and attention. I've definitely appreciated having you. So now we have to figure out this plot, right? The big thing that I'm running into is the driving force of the plot of the Doomsday Seed story is that somehow the environment is out of balance and it is causing natural disasters to happen, some kind of like weather disruption stuff, right? And the Doomsday Seed will wipe out all life in some way, shape, or form. And it's believed that that's going to reset the environment in order to be for the best interest of the planet. So that's the thing I've got to figure out. This is the thing that I was using. So this is the thing I was saying that the bomb at the end of Halcyon Avenging triggers this. Right? So these are massive volcanic eruptions. Let's see what we got here. New research from the... Ooh, okay. So most life was the reality. Most life was in the water. Okay, so this is looking at greenhouse gas, planet. Okay, so the gases that were released from the volcanic eruption caused global warming. Caused global warming that raised the temperature and essentially killed everything. Oceans lost 80% of their oxygen, and about half the ocean seafloor, mostly deeper depths, became completely oxygen free. Warming and oxygen loss in the water. Okay. Interesting. Interesting. That deals with marine diversity. What about land animals? Were there any land animals at the time? How do I get notifications? Oh, nothing useful. All right, here we go. So that was an experimental model. Oh no. Everything okay? I just saw that something happened to stream. So we're looking at this extinction event, and we're saying that the Doomsday Seed caused this extinction event. Now, the big caveat here that we're goofing around with is that I believe there were no land animals at the time. Everything was just a fish in the sea. Oh, here we go. On land, less than oh no, there were animals. Okay. On land, less than a third of large animal species made it. So it was some kind of like intense global warming, because whenever all the life in the ocean died, then everything that hunted the fishes died, then the things that hunt the fishes died, and like the ecosystem just fell apart. And so the original plan here was that the bomb at the end of Halcyon Avenging would wipe out humanity, and it would be so powerful it would trigger geological shifts that would lead to the volcanic eruptions from the Siberian volcanoes that would lead to the Permian extinction event, and that would also eventually lead to the breakup of Pangea. That was where I was going with it. And that can work. That's still, you're still within this range of stretching the signs of disbelief, right? And it's like it's more feasible and more functional. No, I don't want to. Oh my gosh, I didn't even. I just scrolled one. Oh, it's there's a timer. Go away with that. Okay, overview of facts. Here we go. See if this was timed as well. So the reason why I'm researching this is because I need to have some kind of a basis, because I need to figure out what the Doomsday Seed does. And then I can kind of build from, like, I have to figure out what this extinction event is and then what would have been leading up to it. So what if Da, 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 da. Here we go. Causes. Uh, the ratio of calcium to magnesium. Yeah, so that's some kind of like volcanic. Uh, okay. This is the Permian Triassic thing. So I know since it's my story, right? I could very easily just be like, screw it and make something up and just pull something completely out my butt and just be like, this is what's happening now. It was something, right? So these are like underwater volcanoes. Hey Silva, good to see you. What are you doing in Final Fantasy 14? Are you main quests? Ooh. So it's not side quest, it's main quest. You're dealing with all the story stuff. That's cool. I still have to get you my Steam information so that way you can load the stuff onto my computer. Uh-huh. The amount of sunlight available for photosynthesis, thereby inhibiting the process of carbon fixation by plants and lowering the extraction rate of carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. They've been injecting the atmosphere by venting volcanic gases from the eruption of the flood basalts, combined with the emission of large coal seams, burning a forest by hot lava. So, this gets me thinking. What if I decouple um the destruction at the end of Halcyon Avenging and the extinction event? Um, like, so like I said, my current plan was to have the big bomb going off at the end of Halcyon Avenging, triggering geological instability, which then leads to the underwater volcanoes going off, that leads to the Permian uh the Permian extinction event, right? So that was the original plan for that, right? That was like fitting in kind of a nice, neat bow. But then if I'm doing this other side story, right? And I want to have it where the main character follows that theme of uh choosing to reset the world. How does that seed work? Does that seed just like, is it a volcano seed that like plants geological instability? So that's another thing that I'm thinking. Ooh. Warmer temperatures, ocean acidification, other changes to the carbon cycle. Interesting. Some kind of comet. Yeah. Now I'm not sure if I want to go with the meteor thing, because like that's been done by Final Fantasy, right? That's been done by Final Fantasy VII. The meteor thing. Or do I sidestep the entire thing? So I say the weather's happening because the volcanoes have started going off. Okay, let's grab the notepad and start taking notes here. Okay. Siberian. Volcanic. Environment. Okay, so we've got between this. So we've got Photosynthesize. Okay. See what we got here. OBS disconnecting and reconnecting. OBS, why are you like this? I just need you to work. Is everybody there? Can you all hear me? Okay. Okay. Dexbot, okay. Glad to see you. How are you doing, Dexbot? Alright, so this is the idea of like a basic idea of what I'm describing for the Permian extinction event. I'm doing alright. So last night for last night's stream I used an AI generator to come up with some ideas for like TTRPGs and story stuff. And tonight I'm taking one of those ideas and kind of running with it and seeing if I can expand it into a full-sized story. I've been kind of excited for this, and I've been waiting to do the research on this till now because I wanted to do all of it as part of the stream, as part of the experience. Why are people messaging me on Facebook? What's going on? Okay. Yep, thank you, Dexbot. What about you? Are you working on any projects? You got anything creative that you're working on? Like any writing or any games or anything that you're putting together, Dexbot? So what I'm trying to do the impossible here. I'm trying to put together two very different story types, right? So my main story that I've been working on is this political, almost cyberpunk dystopian story dealing with airships and class struggle and all of this stuff, right? And then the story that I generated with the AI generator last night is a side story that deals with trading card games. And yeah, that's a lot. like trying to get this, trying to fit this side story into the world, trying to crowbar. And that's the thing. That's why I don't think that AI, as far as storytellers, will replace humans, because I believe that AI will work as a tool, but it's still going to require human intellect and creativity to put the pieces together to form a cohesive story. Ooh. And what I'm also excited about is this idea that as I'm fleshing out the side story, you're building a mecha roguelike. That sounds really exciting, Dexbot. How are you, like, that's not the kind of thing you make with RPG Maker. So like, what are you like programming the whole thing? What game engine are you using? Are you using like the Unreal Engine? What are you using for that mecha roguelike? That sounds really fun. Hey Nabiru, so I'm trying to start at the end. I'm trying to look at the natural disasters that are taking place and figuring out what natural disasters fit for the world, and then working backwards for how that's going to deal with the card game stuff. And it's taken some leaps of logic. I was doing some research. So the original plan was that at the end of Halcyon Avenging, the bomb would set off the Permian extinction event. Which that's a lot. That would be a lot. That's a bit fantastical. Especially because the Permian extinction event took roughly like 20,000 years. Yeah, the Permian extinction event took like 20,000 years, I think. No, it took 15 million years. Wow, I was way off. Oh, see, okay, so people disagree between 15 million years and 200,000 years. Okay, but the bulk of the loss, everyone agrees. There it is. That's where I got the 20,000. Bulk of loss occurred in the first 20,000 years. Oh, at the end of the period. Oh, interesting. So then this is one thing where oh, it's 70%. Okay, wait, hold on. So it's almost 3/4. Okay. So I have a general understanding of what caused, like, what I want to say was the Permian extinction event. There's a lot of disagreement as to what caused it, right? Like, we know that it was volcanic eruptions, but no one knows why did the volcanoes suddenly become active, right? And part of me is wanting to lead this back into fleshing out Rosicrucius, the villains from Halcyon Avenging, and using the side story to flesh out a part of the world that I didn't plan to deal with. So then there's this thing of where do they get the power to do this, right? And I want these two stories to be connected in some way, and I also have to think about what's the actual like uh what's the actual mechanics that I'm going to deal with here. Self-taught, but I'm trying to build my dream game. It'll be different. Got 2 demos currently in development, one in Unity and the other in Construct. Ooh, that's so exciting, Dexbot. I can't wait to see what you come up with. I definitely wish you the best of luck with that. Like me, I'm a huge mecha fanboy. So like, if you're talking about a mecha roguelike, that might be a roguelike that I actually play. Like, I haven't been a big fan of all the roguelikes that I've seen because they're all like fantasy or magic, and I'm like, eh. But you give me a mecha roguelike, and I might mess with that. No promises though. No promises. Also, I have some ideas for the actual card game itself that we're going to get into later. How are you doing, Nabiru? I'm surprised to see you come in so late. I was expecting you to be here a little bit earlier. Not that like you have to be here earlier. I just noticed that normally you're here pretty quick at the start of the stream. I also know I didn't announce at the end of last stream that I was doing it today. I think I said something about Friday, and I know that you normally don't follow all of my other posts. Okay, Dexbot. You're doing all right? That's great, Nabiru. Well, I'll have to check out what games you play on your channel. That sounds really fun. Binge read a few mangas, so I've been up for over... Oh no, you didn't sleep? Have you slept since last we talked, Nabiru? Have you slept since last we talked? Maybe. Oh, Nabiru, look at you being your bi over there. Mosses. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. Not what I'm looking for, chat. I had to do a little bit of research. I had to find what plant would... I know that feeling, Nabiru. I had to make myself stop. I had to make myself stop writing last night because I was like, I need sleep. So, I was looking for what plants would survive in volcanic soil to see what might be used if Rosicrucius was trying to mess with volcanic power. And mainly takes inspiration from Armored Core, but map progression will work a little like Warframe with an emphasis on weapons and loot affecting gameplay experience. Ooh, that sounds exciting, Dexbot. Plants with shallow roots, example mosses and level rewards, were the only survivors in zones with extremely hot soil. The temperature of which they measured 10 centimeters below the surface. Small and his colleague found moss, dwarf, neck, so it's mosses. Okay. This is the most heat tolerant in the area. Okay. Thermophilic algae. Ooh. Yes, Riders Unblock. Exactly, Dexbot. What is thermophilic algae? That might... Thermophilic assigned... What have we got here? This might fit into my world. What do they want to use thermophilic algae for? Here we go. Biotechnological applications of thermophilic algae. Got it. Have extensive potential to be utilized. The biotechnology in industries. Thermophilic organisms can be good candidates for reducing many limitations faced, as they can be easily grown in harsh environments like high temperature. High light intensity, high salt concentrations, extreme pH, and other chemicals. Biotechnological fuel and non-fuel applications. Yes! Okay. All right. This might have just expanded my world building, chat. Okay, all right. I gotta bookmark this because I might come back to this later. Yeah, there are. If you Google fireproof plants, they're even considered... Ooh. Fireproof plants. Let me look that up. Buckwheat lemonade. Ooh. Oak trees always come to the top of the fires. Cork oak. All right. cork, oak. Yep, we're working on stuff. This all takes place in a plant-based world. If I find out it's possible, then I just stretch it to the maximum of possibility. Yes. So I haven't even gotten to that part yet. I'm working on that. I wanna build out the world and figure out how it all fits before I start designing the actual card game. Yes, that is also true. I have some ideas about the actual card game. It's going to be very similar to Cardfight Vanguard in that, well, these old Cardfight Vanguard, in that there won't be any spell cards. Everything is going to be some kind of a plant. And some of them are going to have really weak stats, but then they're going to have abilities on the field, and some of them are going to have less abilities and stronger stats because they're just hardier, stronger, and some of them are going to be very fantastical, and I'm going to be doing a lot of plant research. Yes. Okay, this explains the algae, because this is something that I hadn't fleshed out in the main story, so it's good to actually flesh this out. Actually, let me check something out here. So I'm not making I'm writing a story because I'm also a novelist. I'm not just a game maker, I'm also a novelist. So this is a plot for a novel. And I'm trying to build this world. I guess I could set a TTRPG in it. So I started working on this novel, and then I got an idea for a side story, and so the side story is going to feature a trading card game. Here we go. I'm looking at... Thank you, Dexbot. So I'm looking at... Uplift, erosion, driven... So I'm looking at what would it take to actually destabilize geological processes. Having high potential of CO2 sequestration. Okay. What is this? Oh. Oh. What? Okay, all right. Biofuel, biodiesel. Ooh, that sounds cool, Dexbot. So in the story, there's this natural disaster that occurs, and I want to look at what it would take for humans to actually have caused this natural disaster. What it would take to have started the process for that natural disaster to occur. All right, so that's going to be used for biodiesel. Okay. But every plant is going to have, in the card game, every plant is going to have some kind of, well, some of them will have effects, some of them will just have high stats. And I don't want to do the Yu-Gi-Oh thing where all of a sudden the effect monsters just start being drastically better than the normal monsters. It feels like every card game does that at some point. So my basic idea for the card game is, you draw cards, you play your plants, and then your plants have different, some plants have different effects, and then you use your plants on the field to attack your enemy, but your enemy can use their plants to block your attack. So kind of like Magic. Kind of like Magic and Vanguard, kind of like a lot of card games, right? It's kind of like also kind of like a buddy fight kind of thing, because I really like the design of buddy fight. They had a great design for a future card buddy fight. Yes. And I was trying to design what kind of card would be the main character's ace card, and I decided that the main character's ace card is going to be applying gun to problem. It's going to be Hazel Cannon, and it's going to be a card that's going to be kind of weak, but its effect is that it can attack directly, bypassing the enemy's defenses, and that's going to be the main character's ace card. and his entire deck is going to be about playing cards to defend himself while he pumps up his ace card in order to attack for massive damage, bypassing the enemy's defenses. Well, here's the thing. Thank you, Dexbot. And yes, that archetype could very easily become broken, because why play defenders if the enemy's just going to shoot over your defenders? Ooh. Actually, I'm going to make a note of that now that I've actually put that into words. Oh no, Nabiru. Yeah, exactly, Dexbot, exactly. I never played Predaplants. So normally, like, Hazel Cannon is like a one power monster that can attack directly. But then he's gonna have an archetype that's going to like power him up, so that way he can attack for like ridiculous quantities. Exactly, Nabiru. I'm not doing the like the 100 and 1,000 attack point stuff, because that just always felt goofy to me. Like, that just felt like the numbers were artificially large for ridiculous reasons. Okay. So I have some notes here. that fleshes out more of the world. What if instead of ooh? All right, Dexbot, thanks for coming. It was great having you, and I can't wait to see what you develop for your game. Good luck with all of that. What if I just make this directly? What if I just make this directly responsible? For this. Well, I'm glad you came. I hope this was entertaining for you. Siberian traps. Are these not underwater? What are these? Because I don't want to describe these terribly and then make myself look like an absolute idiot. Oh, they are not underwater at all. Those are definitely above ground. I thought these were under. What'd you realize, Nabiru? All right, these are not underground whatsoever. Okay. Oh goodness. I'm designing the card game for the story. Later, check out Spiral Gear Last Resort. What is that? Is it a game or is it a card? Okay, it's a Yu-Gi-Oh card. It's a mon you equip to a mon. While equipped, that mon can't be targeted, can't be destroyed by battle effect. You can discard it to let it attack directly. Oh, so it's a union monster? Okay. Okay. It was a degenerate combo with some spirals, made me thinking, oh no. Weak moss but can be broken with the aid of other combos. Exactly. Okay, here we go. All right, this started causing storms to happen more often. Okay. Okay. Okay, alright, so now that I've gotten the Halcyon Avenging stuff lined up, kind of, right, I'm moving on from that to get into the actual card game stuff. Okay. There we go. Doomsday Seed will release a massive wave of the gas used in eco battles and kill everyone at once. Okay, so now I know what the Doomsday Seed does. Actually, no. Wait, hold on. Echo, but oh no. Mm. Dangerous wave. Keepers of modified gas dispensers that make the injuries hurt in a dangerous way. Okay. Mhm. See, one of the things that I'm struggling with here, right? Is that I don't want to push very bizarre and harmful stereotypes. Like, yes, it's a fantasy story, but like I'm also curious as to what I'm saying, right? So by making the big bad kind of thing, this thing where um the the villains are using unstable, untested technology that they barely understand in order to produce algae that they use as fuel for their machines. Um, and somehow this production process, because it's being done improperly without proper understanding, is proving a risk to and is causing the volcano that they're farming the geothermal energy off of to erupt every once in a while. I'm like, is that like, because geothermal energy is actually really safe. It can be really safe and can be a great green energy source. Using algae for biodiesel and for hydrogen fuel cells can be a very powerful fuel source, but am I painting them as the bad guys here? I don't know. And that's one of the things I'm struggling with here is, am I painting these good green power sources as villainous and dangerous and risky, right? Like, yeah, it's a fantasy story, and I just need something to go with it. And the idea is, if you're like, I guess the main thesis is that if you're messing with something that you don't understand, you're going to take risks and damage things that you can't fix. That's kind of where my head is with that. Yeah, exactly, Nabiru. So I gotta figure out. This is something you can help me with. I'm experimenting with this, right? So now I figured out how humanity is causing the natural disasters, right? Which is the driving force of the plot, right? And as humanity is experimenting, these things are going to keep getting worse and worse and worse and worse and worse, right? So that's the driving force of the plot. So I have that inciting incident kind of thing that's driving the keepers, that the keepers are trying to resist. What I don't have, what I'm trying to nail down, is how the Doomsday Seed wipes out humanity. How the Doomsday Seed wipes out humanity in order to save the planet. Right now I'm dealing with this. This is what I have as a tinkering thing, which is that the Doomsday Seed is a powerful Eco Battles card that doesn't just defeat you, it convinces you that you're dead. And in a normal Eco Battles arena, it'll like put you into a temporary coma. But like with enough gas flowing in the system, it can actually convince you to just die. And then they want to flood the world with the Eco Battles gas that's used for the card game, and then activate the card on the entire world. I also got to name the eco battles gas. Hmm. Hmm. So that gives that's what the bad guys' plan is. The bad guys' plan is to mass produce the eco battles gas. Supernatural, the sloth sin, and Ruby, the apathy, both just made you lazy to continue living. So there's a press. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. So this is the steps of the bad guys' plan. Make a self-replicating version of the eco battles gas. Release it as a cloud that will cover the entire world. Activate Doomsday Seed and wipe out all life. Now I gotta research hallucinogenics. So now I've got the bad guys' plan. I've got the thing that they're resisting, right? I'm getting rid of this because I don't like this line about it being a greenhouse gas. About it as it's what causes the end could have been. Ah, that's true. Well, I wanted to know, like, I think having some idea with how it activates and how it works. Oh, jeez. No, I won't make it green. I was thinking of making it purple. But I don't know. I wanted to have some idea of what the bad guy's plan was, so that way I could lay out what the bad guy's plan was, so that way I could design the story around their plan, right? If I knew what their plan was, then I could have a way to design the story around their plan. I said that like 3 times. I'm sorry. You know what? Called EB gas, Eco Battles gas. We're not going to explain how it works. We're just going to say it's a hallucinogenic that makes the thing go. I'm not going to explain how it works. I'm just going to say it's an EB gas that makes I could lean into the fantastical a little bit, and that's what's going to separate it from Halcyon Avenging, where in Halcyon Avenging, everything has this like pseudo-explained state. In the Doomsday Seed, it's going to be totally different. Now I also have to wonder: are the like, do I have some kind of a dual disc that the kids play their cards on? Do they play them in like on a table? Okay, Nabiru. All right, all right. Okay. Ba 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 ba. If it's spores that make them hallucinate, just have a weird, quick growing plant that creates a small platform. Ooh. Ooh. Okay. So you need at least 19.5% of the air you breathe to be oxygen in order to not suffer any ill effects. Yeah, that's also true. Not totally ripping off Yu-Gi-Oh! All right, 40% is safe for long-term use. Okay. Okay. All right. Cool. Okay. Okay. Uh, hold on 1 second. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. So my thought I'm having is that card shops will have tables that release the gas. Like they'll have the tables will have flowers on the corner that release the gas. That's what releases spores, isn't it? Bacteria, fungi, plants. Underside of leaves. Okay. Ooh, I have a thought. What if uh what if we lean into this a little bit harder, right? Each throws down a seed. Alright, so this is what I've come up with. When two players start a game, they each throw down a seed. The seed spurts into a fast-growing plant. Its flower bud opens, and the players play their cards on the leaves. Give off the EB gas that makes the effects real. What do you think, Nabiru? You think? I think that works. I like that design. So they throw it out. So each person has their own table that they're placing their cards on. Keep the seeds in a special pocket of their deck box. So, with that, right, where the gas is produced by the seeds, never explaining exactly how the gas works, just that it makes the effects real. So now we turn this up. Okay. All right. Okay, so Doomsday Seed is a powerful card. Only one card was ever made because it was discovered that the effect would cause the enemy to enter a coma and possibly die. Ooh, do I make the Doomsday Seed Exodia Nabiru? Or like you have to have all the pieces of the Doomsday Seed? Get all the petals or something? Okay. So, here's the thing, right? If I have the kids choose to activate the thing for the mass genocide, right? Because the bad guys convince them that it's the only way to save the planet, right? Because the societies become so dependent upon the algae fuel that that will never be able to get away from it, right? What kind of message am I giving with that? Like, what's the final end message that I'm giving my readers with that? Genocide's okay if your reasoning's right? That's one of the things I struggle with Halcyon Avenging. Like, I designed the ending in order to be contrary, right? And to be like the end of the world, you know, you can't stop it. And like at no point in Halcyon Avenging does the main character ever think that genocide's okay. He just loses. And that's not viewed as a, well, this was the right thing to do. But if the kids actually look at genocide and decide this is the right thing to do, then that sends a very different message if that's coming from my protagonist. You know what I mean, chat? Like that is a wholly different message. I don't know, I'm struggling with it. Or do I instead have it be the futility of life where the kids choose not to activate the Doomsday Seed and that they're going to believe in humanity and start convincing the adults to stop using the algae fuel and or to farm the algae fuel at a slower rate or at a different farming facility. But then after they make their decision, then the bomb goes off and everybody dies. I don't know. I'm still struggling with it. Not gonna lie, chat. Okay. I was just goofing around real quick to see if there's anything cool online. Oh, that is the one who played. All right. Let me ask ChatGPT. I'm gonna ask ChatGPT. Let's see. I'm curious what it's gonna say here. You're not helping me. You're not helping me. ChatGPT, you're not helping. I don't know if anyone's going to want to read this after they read Halcyon Avenging, because it's just going to be like, what? You know how it's going to end. I had a thought. I think the I think the kind of theme, so whereas where the theme of Halcyon Avenging is this feeling that we do the best we can with what we have, with the situations that we're given, but sometimes even though we do our absolute best, we still lose. That's the theme of Halcyon Avenging, is that even though sometimes we do our absolute best, we do everything right, we make all the right decisions, we do all of the right things, we still lose, right? And I would say the theme of Doomsday Seed is kind of that same solution, except I don't know. I'm struggling with it, chat. I'll be honest with you. Let's unwind a little bit with some more Chat GPT. Let's see what it's probably going to tell me whatever you want. It's probably going to say you make the decision yourself. This is literally saying nothing. That helps. That doesn't. That literally was an entire answer that said absolutely nothing. Ooh. What if instead of a side story, it's a prequel? Where the kids save the day, and then just as soon as they save the day, the next day they see the announcement of the government's declaring the humanity a failure and that the world's ending. Oh, that was it. The theme of this is the danger of commercializing technology you don't understand. The dangers of commercializing technology you don't understand. Which, like, we saw that with the widespread use of lead, we saw that with the use of asbestos, and all of these technologies. And in this case, the people are commercializing this algae technology, and it's causing volcanic eruptions, which it doesn't actually do, but it's for the sake of the story, because they don't understand it. But Rosicrucius doesn't understand it because they have been stopping scientific advancement for the last 1,000 years. So they took this discovery, but they didn't let anyone develop on it, and then they decided to start releasing it as they saw fit. Okay. All right. Let me check something real quick. Let me check something real quick. Like Tuesday night streams are always hit or miss. Sometimes they're really big and they go really popular. Other times they just get really quiet. Alrighty. Thank you, Nabiru. Yeah, so it's having some having environmental effects they didn't predict. So that's the main thesis, and I like that theory. It's not saying that like green technology is bad. It's saying trying to commercialize technology you don't understand is going to have effects that you can't predict. And I'm okay with that main idea. Whereas the main idea of Halcyon Avenging is that you can do everything right. You can do everything right, even if you do it always for the right reasons, and sometimes still lose due to situations completely outside of your control. Let me see something right now. Yeah, algae is the only thing that's going to grow in the volcanic soil. Algae and moss. Okay. So we didn't end up plotting a whole bunch of stuff. We did plan out a bunch of stuff. Let me save what we have so far. Okay. So now let's look up some plants. For the last like 15 minutes or so, I want to look up some plants to see what are some cool plants that could be used for different things. Let me see. So he's got the hazel cannon. One power. Let me see. I need to look up cool plants. Oh, Baneberry, what's that? I'm just using my random plant generator just to see what it pops up. It can be brewed for tea. Okay. That would be a defensive one. I'm just using random plant generator, seeing what the random plant generator gives me. Hey chat, give me a number between 1 and 6. Gold Mound Spirea. What does it do? It's just pretty? It's just pretty. Okay. Okay. Blah 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 blah. Okay, so we'll say players start with 10 health. And da da da. Give me 1 second. I'll be right back. I'm back. My roommate just got in from work and wanted to talk to me. He usually gets in around this time. All right, so let's look at. Let's see if we got any cool stuff here. Uh. Oh. Corpse flower. I like that one. Let's make one card about that. Oh wait, no, I was writing out the rules. Yes, a zombie plant. All cards are plants. Block the incoming attacks. So it'll work like magic. Not gonna have weird positioning things. It'll just be really simple. Cards have power. What should the corpse flower do? It has a stench that drives away people, but also attracts. Stench can force multiple enemies to attack it at once, wasting their attacks. Because there's no trample. Alright, so we got the corpse flower. I'm gonna have to design cards for the enemies to have too. Ooh, starfish flower. Well, we've got the rules laid out. We didn't plot anything. We got the rules laid out. We have the villain's plan laid out. We have what the villain's plan are reacting to laid out. And we fleshed out some things for Halcyon Avenging. All of this is still subject to change and will definitely need to be tweaked as we go forward. All right, well, this has not been a very active stream. It's been a lot of research, goofing around, a lot of high concept ideas, running around chasing my tail a little bit, but I had fun. I hope that all of you had fun. I know as soon as this stream is over, I'm going to go look up the highlights of the State of the Union address, see if there's anything important I need to react to and know about from the going on in my government. I mean, if I wasn't doing this stream, I would have been watching the State of the Union address, and I'm not sure if that would have been a better way to spend my night. Like this generated some watch hours, and I had fun. I got a lot of stuff plotted out. Anyway, let's wind down to CeeLo, Silva, Dexbot, and Nabiru, and anyone else who was watching from the shadows as you lurked in silence. And for everyone who watches this VOD afterwards, I would like to say thank you for watching and giving me your time and your energy. I'd like to let you know that I love all of you and I believe in each and every one of you. I think that you each make this world a better place just by being in it, and each one of you has a unique, special, one-of-a-kind energy that only you can bring to everything you do. I am grateful every day to live in a world with you in it. Thank you for being here, for being a part of tonight's stream, and for being a part of this community. I'm grateful for everything that you've contributed, all of your projects and things that you've done and that you've shared with me and with other people in this community. Thank you. I wanted to, so with that said, want to say good night to all of you. Please like the stream. It helps the algorithm with sharing it with other people. If you want to keep up with what I'm doing here on YouTube, ding the notification bell and subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. It lets you know whenever I go live or when I release any new content. If you want to keep up with what I'm doing outside of YouTube, then you can follow me on Twitter or join the Discord. Links to both of those are in the description below. Always remember, you don't have to donate to be a part of this community. You don't have to pay to be welcome here. Just your time, effort, and attention are more than payment enough. With that said, if you ever feel motivated to donate to improve the stream or to improve my life, there are links where you can do that in the description below. I hope that you all have a wonderful night, and always remember the motto: shoot for the stars, have wonderful adventures, live your dreams, and always, always, always stop to enjoy the memes. Next stream is going to be Friday night at 8:30 p.m. EST. We might be playing some more Armored Core. We might be doing some more writing. We might be doing some more AI stuff. I'll see how I'm feeling. I'll see how things are going. We'll see what happens. Anyway, have a good night, everybody.